Hello and welcome to the I Am Evolution podcast. Spirit guide and soul sage Raina shares the knowledge of the universe to awaken and raise consciousness within. All of us have forgotten who we are and why we are here. But if we open our minds to new knowledge, we can use duality to achieve different perspectives to regain our unity. When we expand our awareness within, our possibilities become limitless. Let's begin to remember who we truly are and fulfill our mission and purpose to become conscious. And now, let's start the show.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Sessions. I'm your host, Raina, and today is Saturday, March 23rd, 2024. As always, we're coming live from the Sirius Star System studios right here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and I hope everyone is having an amazing weekend so far. So first, before we begin today's sessions, I want to wish my sister a very happy birthday. I won't tell you guys how old she is because she doesn't like that, but I will say that I am the younger sister, so that's all that matters. Okay, Nicole? So happy birthday. I wish you a happy birthday. It sucks that we won't be able to get together for it. We've missed so many years together, living in Florida, living in different areas. But yes, I love you and happy birthday. All right, guys, let's get into today's show because we were talking, if you tuned in last Tuesday, or no, it was Monday. Oh my God. Yes, it was Monday. If you tuned in last Monday, we did a show called Chasing Horizons, and it was basically a show about, why we chase our dreams, why are dreams so important to us. And I don't mean our actual sleeping dreams. I mean our goals, ambitions, and all sorts of different things. And, one of the things, I got people asking me questions about especially how we ended the show, and apparently a lot of people were talking about the idea of start by training yourself to walk away and focus on self-growth. A lot of people for some reason never thought of that, and it's funny because it's so very true. We have to start being able to focus on ourselves and focus on our goals, our individual goals as people, not as actually the goals of, okay, I want to make money, I want to do, I want to have a big career, this is what I want to do, but what kind of goals of personal growth do you want? Because, I picked up a part-time job. I'm back working at Janos because, sometimes I just need to get out of the house and do other things and see other people. And so I take odd jobs here and there, especially when work is slow. And I really enjoy working at Janos. And one of my coworkers today and I were talking about that. And she was talking about, she's like, every time I needed a job, I just kind of like, my mom would get on me. And all of a sudden I would be like, oh yeah, Mom, I'm getting. And she's like, I wouldn't worry about it. I just kind of focus, and then all of a sudden I'd be at the mall, and all of a sudden someone would be like, hey, you look like you need a job, and you look like the perfect fit for this. And she's like, it happens to me all the time. She's like, how I got the job here at Janos was the same way. She's like, she's like, I was walking down, and she's like, I was having trouble at my old job with one of the people because I guess she was, I guess they were like promoting her or something, and someone else thought that they deserved the promotion. And she's like, you know what? She's like, I need to find another job because this just isn't going to work out for me. So she was walking down, and the old owner of Janos said, hey, you're talkative. You seem like you're outgoing. Are you looking for a job? And apparently that has happened to her every job she's gotten. And I just laughed and I said, you know what? I love the fact that happens to you and you just allow it to happen because that's how life is meant to be. It's not meant to be stressed and say, oh my God, I need a job. I need a career. I need to go to school. I need to do these things. This is what I was talking about training to walk away from the idea of that you have to do something, because you don't have to do anything. The only thing that you have to do is learn to grow and focus on self-growth. And I know there's probably there's probably big names out there like Gary Vee, who I absolutely love, and other people like that who say, no, you got to be active. You got to go out there. And yes, you do. You just can't sit on the couch and let everything, But what I'm saying is the focus of the drive. So if we're a person that we need to sit there, we value ourselves, as we were talking about on Monday's show, if we value ourselves based on the amount of money we have, the cars we have, the clothes we have, the house, etc., then that value is very superficial and it will never hold true. And what I mean by that, by not holding true, is the fact of it saying that, well, I am valued by what I have. And so if all that goes away tomorrow, because the economy could crash tomorrow, we could have another depression just like we did back in the 1920s, 1930s. And so like if that happens, then all of that goes away and our value. And so when we focus on self-growth and we evolve through experience, what that tells us is that we understand that everything around us is the exact reflection of what we think and what we believe inside of us. So if our focus goes out to be like, what money can I get today, to what can I learn today? What can I learn from these experiences? What am I doing? What are the things that are creating these blockages in my life that are stopping me from the dreams? Well, then that aspect shifts, because now instead of chasing after, oh, I got to get the money and why aren't these clients calling back, or whatever the situation is, if our life has become stressed revolving around our dreams and jobs and money and finances and all these different things and our goals, even in sports or whatever it is, then what we have to do is we have to analyze, what is it that I'm doing to myself? Well, I have blockages because if I'm chasing and I'm stressing, that means I'm living in fear, I'm living in limitations, I'm living in this idea that I have to have value based on myself. And so as I told you guys before, when I became a semi-pro pool player, I was just out having a good time. Like, I played pool because I was out having a good time, and I can't do softball anymore. I can't, well, or at least right now, and I haven't been able to do football since the illness. And all of a sudden, I'm out having a good time, and someone approaches me out of nowhere and says that, because my mindset isn't, I have to play pool, I have to get at pool because I need to become a pro player, and I need to prove to everybody at all the tournaments and the kava bars and everything, I don't need that I have to prove somebody that I'm that good. So that's not my mindset. My mindset was, okay, hey, I'm out having a good time. I want to practice for me because it gives me focus. It gives me concentration. It's making me keep my hand and eye coordination skills, because for the last 3 years, I went from being athletic and working out and being totally fit to sitting on a couch for 3.5 years. So it's rebuilding, retraining the brain, learning a new skill, getting my focus back, learning all these things. And it's an add-on to my life. It's adding on to my life, because my life is valued because I value myself regardless of what's going on in my life. Sure, we all have these situations, because I, like you, grow up in this society that tells you, and even my family, I love them to death, but my family trained me. It was like, okay, Raina, you're up to take over the business. You have to do this. You have to double or triple what your father did. And so if you don't do that, then, what's going on? And these are the ideas that are planted in us. So when we're sitting there and saying, okay, well, I'm going to retrain myself, that's kind of where I have to sit back and say, okay, well, what are my limitations to my mind? Where am I creating these blockages? Because if I'm chasing these belief systems, if I'm chasing these ideas, if I'm chasing relationships and everything like that, then I have a limited mindset. And I don't care who you are in this world, even myself, we all have conscious limitation. And for those of you who don't know, if you haven't watched the show or listened to the show, conscious limitation is where our evolution. So you can only understand and just kind of, I can't even think of the word. I'm having a total dyslexic moment, but you can only comprehend the amount of information that you have evolved to. So that means, like, if you're in second grade, you can only comprehend what the teacher has taught you. So you might know addition and subtraction, but maybe you haven't learned multiplication and cursive writing and how to write paragraphs and how to write a paper yet, because you're learning the fundamentals of everything. If you're in 5th grade or 6th grade, you've learned certain things, but you don't know how to write a thesis. You don't know how to do research on certain things because you haven't graduated to that point. You haven't taken psychology, you haven't taken anatomy, you haven't taken taken classes, like certain classes that are in high school and college. And so that's the same thing. We have to recognize and accept that with our dreams, we are only going to be able to carry ourselves as far as we believe ourselves to be. So if we have a limited mindset and we say, well, I have to have these things in order for me to be this idea, in order for me to get respect and show people how much I'm worth, then that is an extremely limited mindset. And usually that is a mindset of people who are very unevolved and very young in soul. When we get older, we realize, you know what? Yes, it's nice to have money to pay our bills because we live in a 3D world where everything, especially here in America now, everything is all about money and bills. You don't get anything now without somebody charging you. Even if you say, hey, can I have a plastic cup for water? Up 10 cents or 15 cents for the cup now. Oh, you want ice? Here's another 20 cents. I mean, it's getting ridiculous. Nothing's for free anymore. So I get that. But every day I look for, how can Raina grow? How can I grow? How can I evolve? How can I understand myself more and be willing to go through whatever it is I have to go through, no matter how painful or stressful it is, and tackle these things in order for me to evolve that mindset and find the conditionings that is. Most of us like to think, and I see this in the spiritual community all the time, and I'm not putting anybody down, but in the spiritual community, there are so many people that believe that they're so much more advanced than they really are. And that is the sign of a young, unevolved soul. When you realize, if you go around thinking you know that they're all there is to know because you've read every crystal book and every, feng shui book and every, whatever book, and you've gone to all the classes and you can recite everything, if you think, oh, well, then we have to come to an understanding that you have created a limited mindset and you have based your value on these understandings, and these understandings are limited because you haven't understood that there's so much more out there, and you're just repeating the information. Every day I wake up and I say, wow, Raina, you're teaching this stuff, but I feel like I know nothing. I really do. People tell me all the time, Raina, you're so knowledgeable. And I'm like, thanks guys. But honestly, I'm just a student like you guys learning, and I'm trying to figure things out just as much as you can. But the difference is I'm willing to challenge myself, and I'm willing to tell my guides, Lori, Mox, Silviana, Luciana, I'm willing to say, hey guys, what's next? I want more. Every day I crave more. I want to feel stupid. I want to feel like I know I know nothing, because then that keeps me opening to learning more. And I think that's what separates us, doesn't it? If we really think about it, that kind of separates us from the people that go around thinking that they know everything and, oh, I'm positive and don't be negative. And I got this. I have come to the conclusion that no matter what you say on Facebook, I can't even enjoy social media. I don't even enjoy it. But every once in a while, I'm a Penguins fan, a Pittsburgh Penguins fan, and an Astros fan. And once in a while, I still like sports, and I'll go on there and make a comment. And I don't care what the comment is. Even I could be oh my God, I love this player, and somebody comes out and attacks me, and then through the conversation they're attacking me and telling me I'm a negative person and I'm hopeless, and it's whoa, where does this come from? Because the limited mindset of consciousness perceives what it wants to, and that's what we're doing by chasing our dreams, by chasing these ideas. Well, if I'm in a relationship, well then I'm happy and all my problems are solved. This person came and saved me. And we know that there's no one here to save you, people. There's no God, goddess, angels, spirit guides, person out there, being out there that's here to save you. You are here to figure out that you are here to save yourself by growing, evolving, that to take off these ideas of fear, right and wrong, politics, taking sides, everything. In order for us to grow, I see so many people and nice people that I enjoy, but I see them, they'll promote one thing about love and compassion and doing this and going hard and trying to evolve. And then the next very statement that they make on their social media or in person is something very limiting. And, oh, I wish this happened to this person. And it's like because their consciousness hasn't evolved to see themselves for who they really are. And so I challenge you on this. I want to challenge you because I love you guys, and I want you guys to understand that you have to be able to challenge who you are in order for you to see yourself in the perspective of limitations. Every day as I say, okay, what am I need to learn? I know what Raina's here to learn, and I'm seeing what she's struggling with. I'm seeing her challenges. I'm seeing these things. But what am I perceiving through my experience through Raina? And so I'm saying, okay, well, do I feel like I had a dream about zombies the other day, and we know that if you have a dream about zombies or something attacking you, you feel like a lot of people are coming at you in life, like people are attacking you, and I go through periods of that. Because that's what happens. You're in the public eye. You talk about things that people haven't quite evolved to yet. It's kind of like when I was in the 90s and I was preaching about organic foods and plant-based stuff and parabens and phthalates and all this stuff. And people were like, Raina, you're a wacko. You're a conspiracy theorist. Well, now everyone's coming around because everyone's talking about, well, it's the same thing here. We're talking about something that maybe you haven't heard of. And so our initial reaction is to reject it right away because maybe you're just not there to accept it about yourself. And maybe you're just not ready to accept it consciously. And that's okay. But these ideas, like with the dreams and everything, sometimes I feel like I'm attacked constantly, and I am. I get emails all the time. I go places and stuff, and sometimes people just come up to me for no reason and just attack me. And why? Because their soul feels something of who I am, and it threatens them. And rightfully so, it threatens the ego. And that's what our dreams, by chasing and having value to ourselves, is really about. It's chasing the ego of a limited mindset because we're socially conditioned to these thoughts and belief systems and all these ideas that truly aren't ours. And so this is why it's essential for us to reevaluate our lives. I'm sorry, I apologize. That came out of nowhere. It is essential to reevaluate our lives and our way of thinking. Because when we look inwards and say, okay, I'm no longer going to chase my dreams. I'm going to create my dreams by being self here. And then all of a sudden, if I'm looking inwards and retraining myself and growing through myself and having personal goals for me. So, okay, I'm angry. I feel insecure. I feel, like nothing's going my way. I feel like I'm always dating the toxic person, etc., whatever it is. Well, let's put some personal goals inside. And when we change those personal goals, then everything outside of us starts to reflect. It starts to change with us. And that's why I brought up my coworker, because it's the same thing. Whether it's me going out to play a game of pool and all of a sudden someone saying, hey, Raina, like you shoot well, let's join this, Florida's semi-pro league and that, or hey, you need a job or whatever. It evolves when you are. And that's the key to life. That's one of the secrets to life. You don't have to. Manifestation is an internal thing, not a mental thing. I mean, it has some mental thing, but it all is about what you see with yourself, what you feel about yourself, and yes, what you believe about yourself. So yeah, it does have mental, but not in the fact of that you're sitting there with a wish board going, okay, wish board, I want this super fancy car and this boat, and I want this, and I'm just going to put it on my wall and just forget about it. It doesn't work like that. You are creating and manifesting every single day, and what your world is what you've created based on your limitations and what you're actually experiencing through and that. So when we evolve that, when we look at our entire mental and emotional health, that rides on it. And so I ask you, like, how can you be happy if you're sick, depressed, stressed out, or living in fear? If your mental aspect, and this is the way most of us live every single day, because I see it, and I know many of you are going to say, "Oh no, I'm fine," or "Oops, what's going on all of a sudden?" But if a lot of people tell me that, "Oh no, Rain, I'm fine, I'm not meant," and then I start breaking them down and I start pulling the soul sage on them and I start going all spirit guidey on them, and all of a sudden all of it comes up like word vomit because they can't control it because of the energy that I'm vibrating with, and all of a sudden they start and I ask them, I was like, "Okay, well, how can if you just said a minute ago that you're not happy, or I mean that you are happy, but then after talking you're stressed out by all these ideas of dreams, you're chasing your goals, and if you're not succeeding to them, then you're not valued." So if you're sick and you're depressed, or you're always stressed out and your body, and you're always living in fear based on the value of your goals and dreams and ambitions, then how are you going to live a happy life? So I tell them, I said, the true discovery in life is self-discovery. And if that's too like cliche for you, or if that's too like, oh, maybe hokey pokey or woo woo or whatever you want to call it, well, then you're going to suffer, because it's not woo woo. It's not new agey. It's not spiritual. This is how things are. When you have a discovery of self-discovery, you learn from you see lessons and as not failures or not mistakes, but you see them as lessons, and you're willing to learn from them. You're becoming self-reliant and independent. You're becoming a creator in mentalism, because remember, mentalism just isn't the mind. It's so much more than that. But because we have such a human limited mind, we think it's our brain inside of our head. We're learning from detachment. We're learning to take care of ourselves, people. How many of us take care of ourselves just physically, mentally, emotionally? I know so many people that go to the gym, but mentally, emotionally, just not there. So you're pushing yourself past your comfort zone. Persistence, discipline. These two things are a must. And if you want to recreate your whole outlook and all your dreams, and you want to achieve this, it takes discipline and persistence of working on yourself to evolve, to be able to let things come to you and you just to become that creator. All right, guys, we're at 20 minutes, so I'm going to cut it because sessions is 20 minutes. So I hope that this was loud and clear for you guys. If not, please email me at imevolution33@gmail.com. But like, guys, seriously, this is all about you. Stop chasing those goals out externally, because everything's internally. Work on yourself, retrain your way of thinking, walk away from the conditionings that society makes you. Even if your partner is not on board, do your thing for you. Because remember, everything else is add-ons. They're not people. Just because if you want to lose weight and your partner still wants to smoke and eat unhealthy, that's fine. Let them. That's their path. If you want to become like this person who's strong and independent, your partner is like, or your family members or anybody around you, friends, are all doing the opposite, that's okay. Do your thing and become what you want to do, but retrain everything. Learn to look at all these different aspects of yourself, and I promise you that if you really put in the work over time, it'll happen. All right, guys, that's it for today's show. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. I'm going out because, it's my weekend and I got stuff to do. But as always, if you found value in this show, please share it, people. The only way we get out is by you guys. We love you guys so much, and thank you for joining us. And always remember to believe in yourself. It's not our abilities, our talents that make us who we are, but it is our choices. Thank you, and have a wonderful weekend.